Welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Last time, we found the remaining heart pieces in the Great Bay and Snowhead regions, so this time we're moving on to Ikana. Once again, we're underneath the graveyard, where we have a very suspicious dead end. So let's equip the Lens of Truth and use it to find a hidden door. Through here is a room with an invisible pathway and invisible enemies, so let's keep the Lens of Truth activated and make our way through here. In general, the bats will leave us alone, but we do want to defeat the Skulltulas that are blocking the path to the other side. Now, with the Lens of Truth, we can make our way to the other side, and to the left, we'll also want to equip the Blast Mask to get past the bottom of a wall. In here, we have to fight another Iron Knuckle, but this time we have enough health that we won't die in one hit. And we're already on to Phase 2. You got a piece of heart. You've collected 2 pieces so far. Collect 2 more to extend your life energy. With that in hand, let's return to Ikana Canyon. Our next stop is Ikana Castle, but instead of going through the well, we're actually going to take a shortcut through here. We can either use the mirror shield or light arrows to get past this block, and before we head inside, let's equip fire arrows and also the Gibdo mask so the Redeads don't attack us right away. From here, we want to go through the left side of the castle. And once again, we have to use the Deku Mask to get through this room. Like before, we have to use the Deku Flowers to avoid the crushing ceiling, and also use it to get to the switch on this pillar. In the next room, we'll also have to use the Lens of Truth again in order to find an ice platform that allows us to get to a switch. And we should also deal with the Skulltulas before we try to cross over to the door. Again, you can use the Deku Flower to fly across, but in general, I find it a little bit easier to simply platform across to the other side. This can be a little bit tricky because of these angles, though, so we do have to be a little bit careful. on the roof, we can find a switch that'll extinguish fire that'll allow us to fly over to another heart piece. The worst part about this heart piece is sometimes I get attacked by Gways and end up having to go through the entire castle again to get back to this point to try to get the heart piece again. You got a piece of heart. You've collected 3 pieces so far. Collect 1 more to extend your life energy. Now that we have that, we have to return to the canyon, and I actually think it'll be faster to warp. From here, we want to go along the path to the spring that we purified with the Song of Storms, but instead of going over there, there's actually a building along the way that we want to investigate. Before we head inside, I do want to mention there is an Easter egg tied to the ocarina that I'll be showing off, but we also want to equip light arrows for something coming up shortly. In the ghost hut, there's the Poe collector that we saw at the entrance of Ikana Canyon by the cliff, but before we talk to them, we actually want to play the Song of Healing. If you are seeking the one who is stronger than you are, you may find strength here. From a group of spirits plagued by lingering regrets. You cannot heal all souls with that song. If you have faith in your skills and might, then try saving these wandering spirits. Hee hee hee. The earthly cost to you will be 30 rupees. I'd like to be able to take that much, but I shall take 10 rupees. Will you still do it? You are a boy of much vigor. Defeat the ladies within the time limit and rest their souls in peace. But if your life energy drops below 3 hearts, I will stop the match. Mercy is the least I can offer. Are you prepared? Within 3 minutes, we have to defeat the Poe sisters from Ocarina of Time. In general, they attack by spinning around, and they'll eventually become vulnerable like this, but it can be a little bit tricky trying to time everything properly. By the way, if you play the Song of Healing, you'll get a discount of from 30 rupees to 10 rupees. Now we have to fight 2 at once, which is a lot trickier. I recommend keeping track of 1 at a time, and not trying to split your focus. Also, by the way, these are actually named after the main characters of the novel Little Women. Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. So that's a little bit of trivia about the Poe sisters. Like in Ocarina of Time, the final Poe sister is fought differently. You basically have to look for the one that spins and attack her with arrows. Light arrows do more damage, which is very helpful. It seems their souls have been healed. I give to you the earthly possession which the ladies kept. Take it, Link. You got a piece of heart. You've assembled a new heart container. Your maximum life energy has been increased. That is your name, correct? I can read people's hearts. I knew you would be coming here. Now, my own soul has been healed too. With that, hee. There's still one more heart piece to find in Ikana Canyon. So, let's equip the Zora mask. We want to drop down into the river and then swim towards the left area of the mini-map. So let's drop down here and swim over. You can find a hidden cavern through here, along with a waterfall, and of course there is a cavern behind the waterfall. Inside the secret shrine, we have a magic bean spot. This will allow you to get some rupees along the ceiling of the area, but they're all green rupees, which feels a little bit trivial, given a few reasons that we'll see later on. We also have some jars to help us refill our magic and arrows, which is very helpful, and we have a switch that can be activated with light arrows. Hehehe. It seems, somehow, you have managed to send the Ikana's wandering spirits into peace. But outside of Ikana, there are still swarms of wandering spirits with lingering regrets. The ones in this room want to meet you again, and have been waiting here for quite a while. Go see them if you feel like it. I'm sure they'll welcome you, hee. In the secret shrine, we have 4 passageways. Let's go left to right, which is the intended order. I also want to equip some special things. Let's go with the Great Fairy Sword, and let's also equip the Bunny Hood, first of all, and then we'll go through the door to the left. First up, we have a group of Dynalphos, and this fight is actually incredibly trivial with the Great Fairy Sword. You got a silver rupee, it's worth 100 rupees. You're pretty happy. In this room, there are also these little patches of grass that we can cut down in order to get Deku Nuts, I guess, and also a couple of rupees. So with that in hand, let's make our way back to the central chamber and then go through the next door. In this area, I think I want to switch my equipment a little bit. I think I'll keep the bunny hood just in case, but I primarily want to equip fire arrows to use in this fight. So let's go through the left door in this little middle path. Once again, we have to fight a Wizrobe. This is an Ice Wizrobe, so it is vulnerable to fire arrows. You can use direct attacks, but because of the raised ledges, it's actually a lot tougher. And now we're on the copy phase. That barely missed. And one more hit should finish the fight. You got a silver rupee. It's worth 100 rupees. You're pretty happy. So by now you should be sensing a pattern with the secret shrine. We have mini-bosses from previous dungeons, and by defeating them, we'll get silver rupees. We've actually maxed out a rupee count, so we won't be able to store any more. So let's head back to the central room again, and then go through the right door near the middle. For this one, I don't entirely know what I want. Let's equip arrows. Let's also equip the blast mask, I guess. And maybe standard bombs as well, just in case, because of the bomb cooldown. Next up is Wart, again, one of the tougher mini-bosses in my opinion. In general, the fastest way again is to use the Blast Mask to knock down a bunch of the bubbles at once. It'd help if I unequip the Blast Mask, but even then, I find this is just kind of a tedious fight. In general, if there is one thing I would criticize about Majora's Mask, it's not that we've seen Wart very much, but in general, like, you know, this is like the 5th time we've fought a Wizrobe or something, though to be fair, there's the fire and ice variations, but still, a lot of enemies do get reused, and if I had to criticize anything in Majora's Mask, that would definitely be something I would criticize. Again, my advice would be to try to clear out the bubbles to get an opening to its eye. Again, it's actually nice not worrying about dying quickly, unlike the first time we fought Wart, where we had 3 hearts and I was definitely extraordinarily paranoid about how well that fight would go. Again, we actually didn't die a whole lot in the main playthrough, which I was actually really happy about, though partly it was because I practiced a lot of things off-screen, just to be sure about like boss strategies and things, but in general, I definitely expected to die to Wart, which is why I stocked up on all the fairies in that initial run through the temple, and I'm surprised I didn't have to use the one. I did have to use the one on the Georg fight though, unfortunately. That should be enough to have a clear shot. There we go. Never mind, I managed to hit the one bubble barely somehow. And now we're on to phase 2, where now it'll charge around the room, and we have all these smaller bubbles to deal with. Again, I think I'll start with defeating all the smaller bubbles, just to make it a little bit easier to maneuver around this room. A little bit less chaotic, trying to actually, like, find Wart and, you know, line up arrow shots, potentially. The toughest part about Wart, in my opinion, in this phase, is you can only lock onto Wart if its eye is open, which I find really annoying, actually, because, if its eyes closed and it's darting around the room, you can't lock on. So a lot of times this is yet another fight where I almost recommend manual aiming, but since it's charging around the room, that is definitely easier said than done, as I miss an arrow shot right away. There we go, we should be getting close to the end of the fight. You got a silver rupee, it's worth 100 rupees. You're pretty happy. I'd be happier if the counter went past 500 and I could actually carry it, though to be fair, you can always drop off rupees at the bank before you actually go to the secret shrine. If you are concerned about actually keeping rupees, which again, for this playthrough I'm not overly concerned about, I would definitely recommend dropping any rupees off beyond 100, just so you can actually get the benefits of getting multiple silver rupees in one area. Alright, we have one more area to go, and I think we're simply going to use the Gilded Sword, because we really need the shield in order to actually get through this fight efficiently, and this next mini-boss only has one major weakness. Again, the Great Fairy Sword would be nice, but not being able to block a counter hit might pose some problems. Alright, so one more door to go. By the way, there are limits to this area. To actually get through the final door, for example, you have to have 16 heart containers. So you can't do this unless you basically collected almost every heart piece up to this point. You do have, like, some room to spare since we have 17 at this point, but yeah, you actually need almost full health to even access the final room here. And our final mini-boss is the Gara Master once again. Again, he'll attack by charging, and then if you block it, nothing will happen. You want to dodge it. He'll also do that little lunge attack there, leaving him open, which is very nice. Otherwise, you can attack regularly. You got a silver rupee, it's worth 100 rupees. You're pretty happy. Now that all of the mid-boss's souls have been put to rest, let's return to the main chamber of the secret shrine. Hehehe, you really are an amazing person, Link. It seems you've somehow managed to heal their souls. Maybe I shall vanish soon myself. Well then, hee. You got a piece of heart. You've collect 4 pieces of heart to assemble a new heart container. Each new container you put together will increase the amount of life energy you can have. That is actually the final heart piece in Ikana. There's one more heart piece I'd like to get, and that is actually in Clocktown. Alright, let's head back to the west side of town. Off-screen, I stockpiled rupees and have 4,999 in the bank. We will get a special reward at 5,000. What's this? You need something? Excuse me, but let me take a look at you. Yes, Link. If I remember, you're the little guy who deposited 4,999 rupees. Well, are you gonna make a deposit? Alright. So... Really? Are you really depositing 1 rupee? That's it? That ain't nothing at all, big spender. What if you say so? Alright, little guy, now I've got a total of 5,000 rupees from you. What's this? You've already saved up 5,000 rupees? Well, little guy, I can't take any more deposits. Sorry, but this is all I can give you. You got a piece of heart. You've collected 2 pieces so far. Collect 2 more to extend your life energy. There are still 2 more heart pieces to find in Clock Town. However, we actually can't get them in this cycle, so we'll actually get those and defeat Twin Mold again in a different cycle. Next time, we'll look for the final 2 heart pieces in town, and make our way back to the Stone Tower Temple. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more of The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.